For those who have had the chance to catch episode 14 of Core 2 and also read the manga, you already know about the scene where Yhwach nominates Uryu as his successor. Whereas the anime scene slightly varies from the manga, the general vibe we get from both is that the decision rouses a lot of suspicion and anger among the Stunreader. We get the privilege to see the various reactions to Yhwach's announcement, and the most flagrant response comes from Busby, who is big mad that Haschwalth is not Yhwach's choice as successor. We also see Bambietta voice her concerns with the decision in her dialogue with the Bambis. Whereas most Stunreader are puzzled about the nomination of the barely known Uryu, Haschwalth seems indifferent to the announcement, and later in this cut I am going to explain why he adopts this attitude. So in this video I am going to break down the real reason as to why Yhwach decides to name Uryu as his successor. The scene where Yhwach announces his heir takes place in chapter 543 of the manga and in the first part of episode 14 of Core 2. In this scene, Yhwach presents Uryu to the Stunreader as the last surviving Quincy and then proceeds to name him as his successor. Yhwach then proceeds to justify his decision by hinting that Uryu's powers are the reason he has made his decision, and assures every Stunreader that Uryu's importance will be realized soon enough. Subsequently, after the announcement, we see Uryu question Yhwach about his decision in chapter 544 after he drinks Yhwach's blood to receive his shrift. Yhwach answers Uryu by stating that his reason to choose him was that Uryu was the only mixed-race Quincy to ever survive his auswahlen. Yhwach states that due to this reason, he thinks Uryu has a power that exceeds his own, and that is why he chose him to become his successor. Later on in the same chapter, we get Haschwalth's perspective about Yhwach's decision that somewhat reveals a more interesting take and, in my opinion, the real reason Yhwach makes his decision. Haschwalth expresses his thoughts about Yhwach's decision in the dialogue that he has with his subordinate when she asks him if he approves of Uryu being successor instead of him. In the dialogue, Haschwalth states that Yhwach's decision was not a mistake, but a tactical plan. He explains that Yhwach understood that by naming Uryu as his successor, he would sow unrest among the Stunreader, which would in turn cause them to scrutinize Uryu even more. Haschwalth states that Yhwach knew that under this increased scrutiny, Uryu would be powerless to advance any ill motives against him and would be obliged to dedicate himself to Yhwach. So at this point, we have two explanations as to the reason behind Yhwach's decision, and both seem to make perfect sense. On one hand, we have the breakdown by Haschwalth, and on the other hand, we have the explanation Yhwach himself gives to Uryu. So, in my opinion, I find Haschwalth's explanation to be more credible and more in the lines of the character of Yhwach. I think Yhwach's explanation that Uryu's powers surpass his own is just a ruse to puff up Uryu's ego and earn his trust, for we already know that Yhwach's powers far surpass any Quincy alive. In my opinion, I think Yhwach gets suspicious about Uryu's intentions once he all of a sudden aligns with the Stunreaders, and as insurance, he makes this move so that he can put Uryu on the spot so that he cannot make any moves against him. Now, the real reason I think this is because Yhwach seems to know a whole lot about Uryu, including the fact that he was the only survivor of his auswahlen, and this probably indicates that he is probably aware that Uryu knows that he was behind the death of his mother. And so, in a bid to prevent him from taking his revenge, Yhwach uses this Jedi mind trick to keep him at bay. The move is also genius because it instantly turns all the Stunreader against Uryu and ensures they become protective of their leader and watch his back for him. So, at this point of the video, I want to pass on the question to the audience. What do you think Yhwach's real intentions were behind naming Uryu as the next Quincy King? Drop your thoughts and let's continue this discussion in the comment section. Also, if you did like the video, subscribe, like and share so that this video can reach the millions of Bleach fans out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.